The IU men's basketball team held its annual media day on Wednesday, giving reporters a chance to interview both new and unfamiliar faces. With so many of last year's Hoosiers gone, including 2 NBA draft picks, Coach Crean's unknown team was ready to meet the press. Ronan has his first impressions.
At Assembly Hall, the championship banners still wave. Center court remains an emblem of state pride, and the candy-striped pants as symbolic as Hoosier basketball gets. But here, the faces have changed. A new coach, 11 new players, and most importantly, a new attitude, as first-year coach Tom Crean tries to overcome the ignorant, arrogant era of Kelvin Sampson basketball at Indiana University. And in just a few short weeks, Crean has already left an impact on his young team.
He's unbelievable. The energy and passion he brings every day is like nothing I've ever seen before.
He's really high intensity.
He's very intense.
His intensity level really picks things up.
Hard-nosed, hard-working guy, straightforward, straight to the point.
It's no bull crap at any time. He's going to clean this program up as fast as it went down. So we're going to be back to the prestige and the tradition that it's supposed to be very, very soon.
But prestige and tradition are two words not associated with the Kelvin Sampson era, leaving Crean with new challenges. This year's roster features 5 freshmen, little size with just 3 players over 6'6" and just 28 returning points from last year. And while they acknowledge it won't be easy, this year's team should at least share the qualities once synonymous with Indiana basketball.
We'll be the best in shape team, we'll be the most motivated team, and we're always going to be the hardest working no matter what. And that's the way we win games, and we're going to win games.
We're all young. We might not be the most talented bunch, but we're going to play as hard as we can every night, and the fans, I hope, can appreciate that.
We want to build a banner. We don't just want to come here and just look to lose. We want to be the win. We want to win national championships. So whatever it takes, we're just in here doing it each and every day.
We're really good turned around here. I know if it already hadn't been, we're starting from scratch, and everybody here is real optimistic, has a real good view on the season, and we know how difficult it's going to be.
If we can come in here and turn this thing around quick, I mean, we'll be viewed as heroes.
And while last season's lasting image will be players quitting on interim coach Dan Dockich, as IU went from one of the country's elite teams to first-round losses in the Big Ten and NCAA tournaments, this team appears to get it, that the program of Indiana University basketball goes much beyond one player, one team, and one disgraced coach.
Well, I mean, just the tradition of excellence. I mean, it's one of the best basketball programs in the country and has been for a long time. And I was just glad to be able to have an opportunity to play here.
Anytime you mention the great programs in the country, Indiana comes up. And for you to be able to play and put the Indiana jersey on, it's a great honor.
It's really an honor because I have a chance to represent this program in the way it should be, and I just feel like it's a good opportunity for me and my teammates.
It gives you chills when you walk out here. Even right now, just being in this jersey, it's such a privilege, and to be in this tradition and this prestige.
So after a year of uncertainty and turmoil, finally a sense of normalcy returning to Assembly Hall, when in just a few short weeks, some fresh faces will try to return the integrity and tradition to Indiana basketball. With the Hoosiers, I'm Ronan O'Shea, Hoosier Sports Night.
The perception of college athletes are that they're on full scholarship, just going to enough ballroom dancing classes to stay in school until they're drafted. But there are many players who have to earn their spot from the beginning. My co-host caught up with a few of them at Media Day.
4 of the much-publicized 11 new faces to the Hoosier basketball program are non-scholarship players. Add redshirt sophomore Brett Finkelmeyer to the mix, and out of 13 players, 5 of them are walk-ons, all with different stories about how they got there.
Well, actually, Coach Sampson approached me because I had a couple of low mid-major offers, and then I decided I wanted to be a coach when I graduate. So he approached me and said that if I come here, that once I graduate, I can be a grad assistant under him. And then Coach Crean approached me and gave me the same offer. So,
I mean, I came here over the summer. I was here with all the other guys. We first started out. So I mean, we just started preseason stuff, and I've just been going hard every day.
Just was here this summer. I felt like it would be a good situation for me, and hopefully, I could be able to have a chance to help the team.
Now all 5 walk-ons currently on the roster hail from the Hoosier State, giving them a heightened sense of the tradition that this program and this building contains.
IU has a tremendous tradition, and that's part of the reason why I came to go to school here. And being a walk-on here is an unbelievable experience. You get to play every day in Assembly Hall with championship banners, and it's just something that not many people get to experience.
I love where I'm from, and I just feel it's just an honor to represent this and this group of guys I'm around.
Since I've been a little kid, you've seen all the candy stripes and all that good stuff, and it's just it gives you chills when you walk out here. Even right now, just being in this jersey, it's such a privilege.
More walk-on tryouts are ongoing, but Coach Crean says he hopes to have the roster finalized by the end of the month. Reporting from Branch McCracken Court, I'm Casey Richards, Hoosier Sports Night.
During his tenure at Indiana, DJ White was a force. The 6'9" forward frequently put the Hoosiers on his broad shoulders. Unfortunately, Oklahoma City Thunder fans will have to wait approximately 4 to 6 months to see how he fares in the NBA. White has a benign growth in his jaw that will need surgery to remove it. Surgeons will then have to graft bone from his hip to mend his ailing jaw.
That's too bad right there. Like the stock market, the men's soccer team ranking just keeps on falling. They reached a season low 23rd after the loss to Michigan on October 4th, and they are now completely out of the top 25 as Michigan State topped the Hoosiers in East Lansing 2-0. DeMartin and Barone did the damage for the Spartans, scoring goals within 39 seconds of each other in the 82nd minute.
The season for the women's soccer team continues to hit every branch on the way down the ugly tree as they drop to their 6th straight loss in a row this week. The Hoosiers were looking at possible overtime in their game versus Wisconsin, but Badger Taylor Walsh broke a scoreless tie with 1:20 left in regulation to down Indiana 1-0. 2 days later, IU traveled to Evanston, Illinois to be beaten by the Wildcats 2-1. On the brighter side, the Hoosiers found the goal after being shut out in their previous 5 games.
Well, we know the Hoosiers can't lose this one. With fall practice coming to an end, the IU baseball program began its Cream versus Crimson World Series this past Monday, ending in a Game 5 match on Sunday. Josh Greenberg covered the action.
The Cream and Crimson World Series wrapped up with Game 5 happening on Sunday at Sembauer Field. And even though the series was clinched, the game was still important for managers and players alike.
It's kind of blending in the freshmen, having them develop and watch some of the other upperclassmen that have been here for a while.
Cream versus Crimson is a pretty big deal nowadays because we're coming around and we take it pretty serious. It's a little wager on it for our date party, and whoever wins doesn't have to pay for their date.
Each assistant was able to build their team through a draft system.
Coach Neal had the first pick, and then we went by position. For example, he took Josh Fagley with the first overall pick. Then I got the next catcher. We each took a position, drafted by position.
For the first 3 games, there were also guest managers, including IDS beat writers, a couple of Kelly School business representatives, and even an Army versus Marines game.
Well, they were fun. It's nice to get kind of the community into the baseball program. We're kind of making a name for ourselves a little bit, and the university's kind of recognizing us. So it's nice to get those guys out here and kind of let them see what it's all about. So.
Keith Dayton, he was a professor from the business school. He was my favorite manager. He had a lot of energy.
But what was most interesting for the managers was being pit against themselves.
It's different. I didn't like it. The funniest part was having Coach Smith in the dugout, and I was in charge because he's usually the one running things.
Game 5 started with some fireworks as Evan Crawford led off with a home run. Michael Early added a 2-run homer of his own later in the inning. That set the pace for the game as the Crimson team jumped out to a 9-1 lead. The Cream team tried to come back, but that early lead was just too insurmountable, and they wound up losing to their Crimson counterparts 12-9.
Well, we lost it, so we're going to have to pay up, but not too big of a wager, but it's still something to compete for, so it was fun.
At Sembauer Field, I'm Josh Greenberg, Hoosier Sports Night.
The Indiana University women's volleyball team endured a tough defeat Saturday in Iowa City when they took on the Hawkeyes of Iowa. 3 different Hoosiers scored in double digits in kills led by Erica Short's 20 slams, but the Hoosiers' stellar play didn't just hold up long enough to beat the scrappy Hawkeyes, who outlasted the Hoosiers 3-2. The IU field hockey team was in action this past week against Ohio State and Michigan. They fared well against one, but the other was a tougher cookie to crumble. We will have coverage of the action coming up.
And with the huge loss against Iowa, the Hoosiers go on to play the Fighting Illini Saturday night in Champaign, Illinois. It's football and more coming up next on Hoosier Sports Night.